Marvel's The Eternals hits theaters this Friday, and we're opening up the toys that go along with the film. The long-awaited Eternals is opening this week, a race of immortal beings with superhuman powers who have secretly lived on Earth for thousands of years, reuniting to battle the evil deviants. Marvel's Legend series from Hasbro released the Eternals Build-A-Fig Wave, a 7-figure series with characters right out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. When 6 of the 7 super-articulated 6-inch figures are opened, they connect together to form a terrific Build-A-Figure of Gilgamesh. Kicking things off with Marvel's Icarus. Moral, kind, and charismatic, Icarus boasts incredible strength, flight, and the ability to project cosmic energy beams from his eyes. He comes with an interchangeable head that features the beams from his eyes, as well as an alternate pair of hands to create poses straight from the movie. Icarus is the only figure of the series that does not come with a part of the Gilgamesh Build-A-Figure. Next up, Kingo. An Eternal with the power to project cosmic energy projectiles from his hands, Kingo over the centuries became enamored with the idea of fame. He also comes with 2 removable sets of hands, one that features his projectile powers, and a set of fists. His figure comes with the left hand of Gilgamesh. Marvel's Cersei. The Eternal with an affinity for humanity, Cersei has the ability to manipulate matter, changing the makeup of any non-sensitive material she touches. She comes with an alternate set of hands, one that features a fist and the other with 2 open fingers. She also comes with the left leg of Gilgamesh. Makari zooms in next. Makari uses her cosmically powered super speed to scout planets, and as the only deaf Eternal, she's not affected by the sonic boom that accompanies her cosmic running. She comes with 2 sets of hands, one open and one with closed fists ready to fight. Her Gilgamesh piece is the right arm that also comes with a closed fist alternate hand. Fastos. Over the centuries, Fastos has helped nudge humanity forward technologically, while always keeping his brilliance hidden in the shadows. Like the other characters, Fastos also comes with 2 sets of interchangeable hands, one open and the other set of closed fists. He comes with the right leg of Gilgamesh. Next up, Druid. Using cosmic energy to control the minds of others, Druid is aloof and powerful, but at times it's hard to determine whether he is friend or foe. He features 2 sets of interchangeable hands, both open and closed, and comes with the head of Gilgamesh. Finally, the last and smallest of the Eternals Build-A-Figure wave, it's Marvel's Sprite. Sprite has the ability to cast lifelike illusions and is an Eternal much stronger and cleverer than she appears. Her figure comes with 2 sets of hands, both open and closed fists, and comes with the body of the Gilgamesh Build-A-Fig. After we unbox them all, the 6 pieces go together to form the Build-A-Figure of the series, Gilgamesh. The strongest and kindest Eternal, Gilgamesh becomes Thena's de facto partner when the events of the past exile them from the other Eternals. He stands about 6 inches tall and features very fine detailing like the rest of the series, and just like the rest, features 2 sets of interchangeable hands, one version open and the other with closed fists ready to battle. Don't miss Marvel Studios' Eternals in theaters this Friday. Then head over to Toyshnip.com and grab a set of the Eternals Build-A-Figure wave so you can make your own Gilgamesh. Remember to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on more fun content from Toyshnip.com. We'll see you next time. I've never seen so many hands. Don't miss Marvel's Eternals and... Oops. Can I get a hand? Can I get a hand here? Don't miss Marvel's Eternals. This... Oh, that happened. So many hands in this series. Oh my goodness. It's raining hands. Dropped a hand.